Hello, everyone. We're doing just fine. Are we about ready to go? Okay, then. Good evening. And I think before we get started, we should put some things into context. The first question you might ask might be, why middle school? I spent over a decade in a middle school classroom, and I can tell you from experience that these are some of the most challenging and formative years of the student's entire life. It is the age of budding independence, where the winds of change are constantly blowing. It's an age with which the students start to begin to set their course in life. But it's also not too late to change that course if they're heading in the wrong direction. We chose the middle school years because they truly are the age of discovery. Tonight's journey begins walking through the halls of a school that doesn't exist yet. But that's okay, because the walls in this case aren't necessarily so important. The true genius behind this model is what happens between the walls. Walls that will house a uniquely different content delivery model called inquiry project-based learning. Here,
Effective way to teach.
I'll try right now, so you know how to do it.
When you think about project-based learning, learning that results in demonstrations of performance, real tasks that have brought challenges to students to solve, you can see that it's in context with the ways in which kids have to be able to be functioning adults.
It's quite an improvement for us. Remember our first ring didn't even hold water?
Project learning is a hands-on, student-directed activity in which students create something that demonstrates what they have learned, whether it's a website, a play.
Can you believe this arrogance? They think they can stop us. Nothing can stop us.
Or a wing design portfolio.
First thing you have to do is to give up the idea of curriculum. Curriculum meaning you have to learn this on a given day. Replace it by a system where you learn this where you need it. So that means you're going to put kids in a position where they're going to use the knowledge that they get.
Project-based learning has an exciting number of possibilities, but what does it look like in the classroom? If you want to see and hear just what this looks like, this is a really good example. This is King Middle School. Notice how the project they've chosen has a very artistic flair, yet it incorporates details about the complicated interrelationships between living organisms in the soil. Notice something here for a second. This is without a doubt a high-tech classroom, but did you notice where technology was on the list? It was at the bottom. I don't know if they planned it this way, but ideally this is where you want your technology. You don't want it to be the focus, you want it to be the underpinning support mechanism by which skillfully crafted curriculum is delivered with a high rate of efficiency. Yeah. This advantage, this technological edge, is what Context Middle School will have.
What I like to call maybe bracket the time of a kickoff through the culminating event and the celebration of the final product.
There is no doubt that something like this is going to take a huge amount of time and effort and training, but that's already been built in. Context Middle School is teaming up with Azusa Pacific University's School of Education, and they will train the teachers in the most advanced teaching methodologies in the industry. And with that training, the teachers will be given time to creatively weave together rigorous curriculum that will stagger the imagination with possibilities. Here.
24th, you're going to stand in front of your peers, you're going to stand in front of your parents, you're going to stand in front of a panel of engineers. You will have data, you will have graphs, and you're going to knock the socks off people.
Context Middle School, the Temecula Valley School District, and the Azusa Pacific University School of Education will blend time, talent, and educational leadership in such a way that you can make bold statements like this and know for a fact it's going to happen. Context Middle School will thrive off of the community's involvement because this deepens the learning experience.
We have schools because we hope that someday when children have left schools that they will still be able to use what it is that they've learned. And there is now a massive amount of evidence from all realms of science that unless individuals take a very active role in what it is that they're studying, unless they learn to ask questions, to do things hands-on, to essentially recreate things in their own mind and then transform them as is needed, the ideas just disappear. The student may have a good grade on the exam. We may think that he or she is learning, but a year or two later, there's nothing left.
And it does one of the most elusive and difficult things to do in a middle school classroom. Make learning relevant. Context Middle School has in place the gears to make a world-class learning machine. But it wouldn't be complete. Not without the third R. That R being relationships. Imagine for a second that the areas of this diagram represent the areas of expertise in teaching. For example, one of those areas would represent mastery in the content area that you teach, so you know what you're teaching. One of the areas represents how to teach, a master in how to present the material. And then yet another area represents a master in the technology of how to present it using the technology. I don't think anyone would argue that these are qualities we want in all our teachers. However, there's something else. Something that's not obvious but underlies the very success of the entire educational experience. The one that supports all the other pieces. The skill that the teacher, the staff, and the administration possess to connect with the students, the parents, and the community at large. That is relationships. Education is a social experience, and that's why the strength and flexibility of these relationships is the key that makes everything else work. This is the reason why Context Middle School puts such a high priority on the relationships that the staff and the administration have with not only the students, but the community and everyone that has a stake in these students' lives. Context Middle School has a staggering amount of potential. And while keeping kids engaged in rigorous and relevant curriculum, it also keeps its eyes focused on its primary mission. A mission to create entrepreneurial self-starters by demonstrating that they can be systematic problem solvers, self-actualizing learners who are self-governing, self-motivating, and self-aware. Critical thinkers and researchers who discern underlying patterns. Global stewards who collaborate across cultures and who add value to their local communities. Relevance, rigor, relationships. These will be the things that Context Middle School will be centered around, built on, and on which will be your children, our community, and the future of our nation. We look forward to your support and your cooperation in developing a new, higher level of excellence in education. And when the country wants to look and see what a world-class education looks like, I hope they realize all they have to do is put it in context. Thank you.